Hey everybody, it is May 17th, 2022, and this is the Monster Maverick Show. Kind of a special edition. We've had quite a week here in the Splinterlands world, and this is the show all about Splinterlands, but from the investment kind of earnings perspective, rather than, playing the game and what cards to use and all that kind of stuff. So this is more about the money side, the earn side of play to earn. My audio is a bit rumbly. Okay, still audible. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm your host, Neil McSpadden. McSpreadsheets, two coofs, whatever, whatever works for you. As to why you might want to listen to this show, why my opinion might have any kind of value. I'm a day one Splinterlands OG. I have, as far last I looked anyway, I still had the largest single collection. What's a coof? That's when I was coughing for 3 months straight. Largest single collection, as far as I'm aware, although Jarvie made some inroads today or yesterday, whatever it was. We'll get into that for a second. Um, and Yeah, I'm a financial guy. My day job is owning a tax practice and tax advisory bookkeeping firm. So I'm deep in the spreadsheets all day, every day, and I take that and I bring that to the Splinterlands world, and it's worked out okay over the past however many years it's been. Made 100 times my investment, something like that. So it's worked out pretty good. Is I guess the bottom line. So I'm also one half of the X Chaos project. X Chaos was a launch pool for Chaos Legion when we were concerned about things possibly selling out, and people could buy X Chaos tokens, and then they would join together in a bulk pool so that we would have guaranteed allocation. On top of that, the way Chaos Legion works, similar to how Untamed Edition worked, every million packs that are sold, we get a new airdrop. So if you buy 5,000 packs by yourself, then you have a reasonable statistical average for the amount of airdrop cards you get. But if you're under that threshold, if you're under 500 something, you're probably not going to get any. But even if you're between that 500 and a couple thousand period, your odds are not great. You might hit it out of the park. I've seen some people who get like 18 packs and they get a gold foil thing, but that's definitely not average. So the other great thing about X Chaos is that people who hold X Chaos, the X Chaos account receives the airdrops. We sell them into the market, and then we distribute the DEC over time, along with the SPS that we earn. We distribute that over time as well. So for the smaller holders, it's actually been a great DEC earnings mechanism because they would have missed out entirely on the airdrops, if they had under those minimum thresholds. So that's one of my projects. Another one of my projects, Venari Syndicate. So this is an investment syndication where we bring in accredited investors, we put the capital together, we deploy it into Splinterlands, and earn a cash flow on that, and return profits to our partners. So you do have to be accredited for that one, which is not most people. So the why you might care about that is that if you bring in an accredited partner, then you get a share of our management fees on that capital that ends up signing up with us. So that can be a significant cash flow over time, especially for an introduction. So that is a quick rundown about me and why I might have something to say about the world of Splinterlands. And this week is a special week because we got the rewards announcement, and we're going to go into that, and we're going to touch on nodes for a second. We're going to talk about ecosystem values, and it's going to be a time. Now, if you're scared off by math and spreadsheets, just sit tight. I made a couple charts that might work for you, but overall, it's going to be pretty intensive this time. But let's go ahead and get the show started, and I will throw in my old theme song here. So let's go. So somebody had asked me after last week's show, where I got my theme song because it's slightly different than the other versions that I've heard, with other streamers, and I think it's just because it's older. I got mine straight from Azaria, who is the I don't know, the creative director, official musicologist. I don't know exactly what her title is, but she does all the music and stuff for Splinterland. So I got it from her. You can ask her. I don't know. Maybe maybe it's on like one particular screen and it's not on another. I don't know. But if you like it, contact her. She is the music producer extraordinaire. So rewards. that's all anybody's been talking about since we got the announcement 3 days ago. We have been awaiting this update for a long, long time. There have been people complaining about 6 minutes in and no spreadsheets. What is this place exactly? It's coming. It's coming. I promise. So we got the update. I'll show you the post. Let's go to the browser shot. There we go. And since Jarvie's here, Peak D, it's one of the Peak projects. I like them a lot. If it's general content on the Hive blockchain, I'm generally going in Peak D. Oh, Yaba's in the house. So for anybody watching the stream later, Yaba is the guy behind this whole thing that we're going to be talking about. So an informed opinion, let's say. Great to have you, and we'll see if I'm on track, and if I'm totally off base on something, just chime in, let me know, because I had to make some assumptions, and we'll get into all that. So we got this post 3 days ago, edited like 2 hours before the show, which drove me into a scramble because I had to update all my spreadsheets. Like stayed till 6:30. Okay, I'm gonna move some things around then, because I did want to hit the ecosystem value first, because we've seen some pumps and some dumps. Overall, we're up about, I think it's about $20 million in total ecosystem market cap since the last week, which is nice. But that's impacted negatively by the fact that Jarvie and another Mr. Rogers got tracks for 10K basically. And that drove the price of tracks down by like 80%. But overall, things are up. The market has responded pretty well to these announcements that we've gotten. So we got 3 big announcements. So one is rewards. Second is nodes coming May 25th. That's the pre-sale. And the third is Splinterfest. And I know Jim was talking about that at the end of the last show. It's going to be in Vegas in September. Going to be a good time had by all, I'm sure. So let's just cruise through the post here a little bit, and then we'll get into the numbers. So, they've been working for a number of months on a major overhaul to the ranked reward system. So, especially if you're watching this in the future, I know someone looking for a track. Yeah, if anybody's selling a region for 50K, call me. I will buy it for you. So, people have been complaining forever about rewards, right? Because the first rule of crypto is I want to do less and make more, right? That's from Agrode, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. And one of the issues that play to earn in Splinterlands has had is the ghost cards, and this is my opinion. Other people say it's the bots, other people say it's this, the collection power, whatever. For me, it's been the ghost cards. And the reason why is that when you buy a Summoner Spellbook, that's the $10 starter kit, basically, you get access to, 105 cards to 105 cards to play with. They're not yours, you don't own them, you can't sell them, but you can play with them, you can earn with them. And lots of accounts would be out there, whether they're bots or humans or whatever, they would play with these ghost cards and earn rewards, and mostly just sell them on the market, whether it's the DEC coins or the cards or whatever. And there have been a couple hot fixes over time as far as trying to mitigate that selling pressure, but it still continued. And the fundamental reason is that people were getting something for nothing. They didn't have the assets in the cards, but they were earning as though they were. So this update changes that quite a bit. It changes it in 2 ways. So one, it changes the type of rewards chest that you earn. So in the past, they were all the same. They all had third chance of DEC, third chance of reward card, third chance of potions, and then a tiny sliver of a chance of earning a pack, whatever the current edition was. So then there was some tweaks to bronze to reduce the earnings of DEC, but still same basic format. So what this update is doing is changing the chests that are earned based on the highest league that was reached in the previous season. So if you start off in Silver 3 and you rise up to the top of Silver and you hit that next threshold and go into Gold, you're going to earn Gold chests in the next season. And the different chests have different values because they have different probabilities with the different assets. So if we go down here, lots of tables and things. It's scrolling. Okay, so here we have the different chest types. So a bronze chest has the third, a tiny sliver of a chance of earning a pax, and there's a minus 75% gold rarity boost, meaning that your chances of earning a gold foil or chances of earning a legendary card are reduced by 75%. At silver, it's 33% DEC, 38% rewards cards, 28.25 potions, and 0.75% in packs. You also get a 2x token multiplier, which applies to any DEC earned in that category. And then we're no penalty, no reward in terms of gold foils and legendaries. We go on to golds. We get 32% DEC, 43% rewards cards, 23% potions, 2% packs, which is significant, and then 8x multiplier on the DEC, and a 50% bump to your chances of getting a gold foil or a legendary card. And then on and up through Diamond and Champion. Diamond's 48% rewards cards, Champion is 53% rewards cards, and the multipliers for Diamond, 16x on the DEC, a full 100% boost on legendary gold foils, and then Champion, you get a 48x boost in DEC and 300% bump in chance of legendary or gold foil cards. So you notice that these escalate rapidly, and that is by design. So the Champion chests are worth way more than the bronze chest. So other things being equal, you want to get the highest type of chest that you can. So then how many chests do you get? So before it was just depending on what league you reached, and if you reached Silver 2, you got whatever it was, 25 chests. But now it's based on reward shares, which is a complicated thing. Basically, your R shares are going to be your rating cubed divided by 1,000 times your energy capture rate, which is as you play more, energy capture rate decreases. So if you're spamming battles all day long, your ECR goes to 0, your rewards go to 0. Bonus multipliers if you're playing with alphas or gold foils. I think beta has a 5% bump now as well. Can't remember if that's actually true or not. And then if you're using some of those ghost cards, it actually reduces the amount of rewards shares that you earn. So if you have a team of 5 cards and 3 of them are these ghost cards, then you have your rewards for that battle are reduced by 3/5. Do I have a YouTube channel where I post other analysis? I do. It's on, you'll see a link later. It's my channel. I have all kinds of stuff going back years and years there. So this is kind of the table showing that reduction by using those ghost cards, or starter cards is what they're being called here. So if you had 6 cards played, 6 starter cards were used, your R shares are 0. And if it was 6 and 1, then you only get 83% of what you would have earned if you owned all of your cards. So just this formula alone addresses 2 things. So one, it addresses that the number of battles you're playing per day. ECR has a recharge rate. So roughly 25, 30 battles a day is sustainable in that you can maintain your ECR day over day. If you're going beyond that, then you're going to start eroding your ECR away, and you're going to be reducing your reward shares. So the incentive there is to stay in that 25, 30 battles a day kind of region. And then the penalty for the rewards penalty on the starter cards is a disincentive for using the starter cards. So yes, you can use it, you can play, but you're not going to earn a whole lot. So it's great for people who are totally new to Splinterlands, but if the purpose or if the goal is to earn, then then you're going to want to own your cards or rent them or whatever. You know, you could be one of those a scholar account or a shared account or whatever. But the cards you want to be playing with are the ones that are actually in your account for real, and not one of the starter cards. Warren says that's one of the keys to this new system, tying our shares to loot chests. Yes, absolutely. So then we have this thing, and this is what changed like 2 hours ago and drove me into a scramble. So what this is trying to show you is the different leagues: bronze, silver, gold, diamond, champion. Just a kind of an average number of our shares per win that that a user would get, in these different leagues, and this is based on the midpoint of those different leagues. Because silver has a rating range, and so if you're in the middle, you did that for a battle, you would end up with 3,048 R shares. These are actually times 1,000, but those simplified for display purposes. So just keep in mind that if you actually did the calculation, you would get 1,000 times this number. And then the R shares for 1 chest, for 10 chests, for 50 chests, for 10 chests, or for 100 chests rather, goes up and up and up. And what we'll see in just a minute is that is not a linear relationship. And then daily quests are being replaced by daily focus. Similar structure to the reward shares, but it's going to be focus reward points. And we don't have the detailed data on the daily focus chests as we do on the season chests, but I'm told it's going to be somewhat similar. And I think it was Brybro or Bulldog was saying that the expectation is people earn about 10 daily focus chests a day. If you're playing, a full 25, 30 matches and you win, half or so. I think those are kind of the assumptions that are built into it. And, quest potions are gone. New rewards cards, we got some teasers of those on the last town hall, which was great. And ongoing changes. So these numbers can be revised if they roll this out and they determine that it needs to be. So that is the background for the rewards changes. Now let's dive into the actual numbers. So it's spreadsheet time, people. Okay. So they call me McSpreadsheet for a reason, right? So, the bad thing about this stream is that I actually have to get it to fit in the screen because my actual spreadsheet is way bigger. How many R chests it takes to get to 150 chests or how to calculate it. Yes, we will get there, Jeremy. So, what we're seeing here is just the same data from the post. Chest types, DEC, rewards cards, potions, packs, token multiplier, gold rarity boost. And then over here, I have other calculations. Because what happens is that by changing the probabilities in the rewards, it totally messes up with the spreadsheets that I had before. So I had to do this over here, and I had to do this for bronze, silver, gold, diamond, and champion, because they're all different now. Spreadsheet time. Yeah. So here's assumption number 1 that I made. So like in bronze, we have a penalty to legendary and gold foils. So the assumption that I made in calculating all this is that the probability taken away from legendaries and away from gold were evenly distributed to commons, rares, and epics. That may not actually be true, but it's going to be in the ballpark. So I'm not too concerned about the skew from that. So we have, like in bronze, we've got a base probability 75.4 for a common, 20.2 for a rare, 4.2 for an epic, and 0.2 for a legendary. And then we have a gold adjustment that switches that out. This potion adjusted, this is just because I'm copying and pasting from my general packs opening calculator, and potions do not come into play for rewards cards any longer. So you can just ignore this column entirely. We got burn value and then average dollar value. So from this, I go over to peak monsters and I say, let's look at the market. I go to buy, I look at Chaos Legion, and then I look at commons. And I'm taking kind of a median number. So median between 0.015 and 0.016, I just put it as 0.015. I did that for regular foil and for gold foil and for all the different rarities. So that is how I got the numbers on the average value. So then it calculates what is an average card, right? What is, if I multiply all these probabilities on one card, what's the expected value? And then that goes in over here to the card value, and we get a number. So 4 cents for a probability weighted rewards cards in a bronze chest. And then it goes up and up and up throughout the different chests because the probability of getting rewards cards goes up, and the value of those rewards cards by tweaking the legendary and the gold foil probabilities goes up as well. So, and then I get an average chest value. So DEC probability, chest or card probability, and then for potions, I'm putting them at 0 because yes, they do have a value. They are sold in the store. But they're only used in buying or in opening, retail packs. So for rewards purposes, not so useful. And I don't know if a lot of people are using those potions or not. But for these purposes, I'm just putting it at 0 entirely. So with today's pack prices, with today's DEC price, and with today's card prices, that puts a chest value for bronze at 2 cents. For silver at 6 cents, for gold at 13 cents, diamond 19 cents, and champion 42 cents. So there's a big jump up there, and you can see that we have a ratio of going from one level to the next. So a silver chest is worth 3.16 times a bronze chest, and 2.3 times, and then 1.5 times, and then 2.2 times. S3 is no longer the optimal bot target. You are correct, Scrubs. But there's more that goes into what's optimal, right? Because what are you optimizing for? That's the question. So we see here the chest value is going up and up and up as you go up in League. So gold to diamond, not that big. Not as big as the other jumps. So which is a little bit surprising, but it's just how it worked out. But this fluctuates depending on prices of everything. So the price of a pack, price of DEC, and the price of the actual rewards cards that you earn. So it's not a steady thing. This is going to float around depending on those different factors. So, but we get this overall. The higher league you are in, the higher the value of the chest that you can earn. So then the question is, well, how many chests am I going to get, right? That's what everybody wants to know. We know we have a max of 150, but I think very few people are going to reach that because we have all this stuff. So let's get into this nonsense right here. So if we go back to the table in the post, if I can find it with so many tabs, if we go back to the table here, you will see average R shares per win. That number is not the number I'm using because if we go over to if we go over here, you see league and path, right? Because the rating is not constant, right? So typically, what will happen is you'll start off in a certain league, whatever you reset back down into, and then you play, you go up and up and up. And a lot of times, if you're in one of the lower leagues, like bronze, silver, gold, you'll end up at the very end of the season in that higher league to get those stretch rewards. So so what I did for average R shares per win was to look at those ratings resets and the different leagues and take the midpoints of each of those and average it out over the course of a season. So if you're doing a bronze reset, you're typically going to move 3 leagues, 2 sub-leagues within bronze and then up to silver 3. And then if you're in silver, typically a typical path will be silver 3 to gold 3, gold goes gold 3 to diamond 3, and so on. So based on that, I got a different R shares per win, which is a little bit higher than what's in the post. So all the numbers I have are based on that assumption. And I see people are asking a bunch of questions. I'll try to get back to them, but I just want to get through all this first. So then we have the R shares at 1 chest, 10 chests, 50, and 100. So these are non-linear. In fact, they are roughly parabolic. So the more you battle within a league, then the harder it is to earn the next chest, which is an interesting dynamic because that's actually somewhat incentivizing multi-accounting. So kind of the thrust of this whole thing is that you want to be playing at the highest levels that you can with the cards that you have, but then there's a bit of an incentive to duplicate that horizontally rather than going all in on one. So it depends on the cards you have, depends on the cost of everything, and yeah. So so what I did was I took these data points, I did a curve fitting, and I tried. Well, linear was nonsense. I tried exponential, I tried a power law, and then polynomial worked out pretty well. I got pretty good R squares, which is a measurement of error from actual to predicted, or I guess the other way, error from predicted to actual. So so it ended up with square laws, or parabolic equations for each of these. And then, and then, if you remember your high school algebra, or maybe middle school algebra, there is the quadratic formula. So I went in and I said, okay, if I'm playing 25 games a day, or maybe 30 games a day, I'm going to win half, right? Because on average, the overall winning rate is going to be 50%. So I said, okay, I win 15 times a day, over doing this many R shares per win per day. And came out with a number of R shares per season, given the different paths through the leagues here. And so 172,000 starting in bronze, a million in silver, 3.7 million in gold, 9.3 million in diamond, and 17.5 million in champion. Okay, now we have that. That's the Y value in the in this parabolic mess. So then I did some quadratic formula and figured out, okay, how many chests does that translate to? And it depends, right? So, so it depends on whether you go up a league or not, right? So if you stay in the same league and don't do that end of season graduation to the next level, then you're going to earn more chests, but they're going to be lower quality chests because if you're starting in bronze and you don't graduate to silver, you're going to earn bronze chests in the following season. But if you go up at the end, you will earn fewer silver chests, but those silver chests are worth more, at least right now. So what does that work out to? And here are the numbers, basically. So, if you're in bronze and you earn 59 on average chests in bronze, it's worth $1.03 for season rewards. But if you go up to silver, you earn fewer, you get 34, but you get $1.88 worth of rewards inside of those chests. And same thing for silver. So, if you stay in silver, $3.2 worth of average season rewards. If you go up to gold 3 at the end, then it's 5.15. So, a nice little bump there. 8.85 staying in gold, going up to 9.66 in diamond. So not as big a jump there. Nice jump in going from diamond to champion. 15.7 staying in diamond, 26 graduating to champion at the end. And obviously, if you're in champion, you reset to diamond 3, you go back into champion. And then it's basically $38 worth of rewards. But that is at current prices. That's always a big caveat. And the other thing to keep in mind is that these chests at the same league numbers are slightly overinflated because the assumption I'm doing on my R shares per win is that you do graduate at the end, because if you don't, if you stay in the same league, then your ratings that gets cubed ends up being capped at your league cap. So Yab is saying he has to run, so thanks for dropping by. Try to make the whole thing next time. Make sure to get all the numbers for everything and formulas to share. So yeah, so I don't have to back into all this kind of stuff and reverse engineer everything. That'd be great. But bottom line is that you're always better off in all cases here pushing as hard as you can with the cards that you have. So if for some reason you had Silver League cards and you were able to get up to the diamond, great, do it, because it's the increase in rewards are worth it. But that doesn't mean that that is optimal, right? Because optimization requires a target, and what are we optimizing for? And if you're an investor, if you're one of the bot farms, if you're looking at this from a ROI perspective, the I is critical there. Return on investment. So, how much does it cost to get into the different leagues, to build those decks, and in order to earn these rewards? We know in absolute terms it's better to get as high as possible, but is that true for purchasing cards and then going up? Uh, yeah. So Jarvie, as far as the exact equation, the fitted equations that I have are these. So like y equals 1568 x squared plus 55983x plus 7 plus 13074. That's the the curve for champion, and there's a different curve for each one, but they're all the same type of curve, but they have different values for their coefficients. So it's a whole thing to calculate. But spreadsheets make it workable, and I was able to come out with these values. So the next thing I did, willing to share the spreadsheet, maybe, I don't know. Um, it's kind of a bear, and it's in Excel, and not in Google, but I don't know, maybe. So then I look into myself for SPS donations. I was asking myself, well, how much does it cost? Like if I'm a bot farm, right, and I have 100 accounts, 500 accounts, whatever the number is, what is my optimal move to go to? Given that I've sold everything as I've earned, I'm into profits, um, but do I want to stay in Splinterlands? Do I want to continue, earning rewards and being a productive part of the ecosystem by holding assets, or at least renting the assets in order to play with real cards? So then I went over to Monster Market, and Monster Market has a great tool that has a cost estimator. So I go over here, you go to Tools, and Cost Estimator. So then you can say, okay, what editions do I want to use? What splinters do I want to use? What league do I want to target? And so, as a bare bones, yeah, it's 2007 Excel is what I have. As a bare bones thing, like the absolute least I could possibly spend would be to buy Chaos Legion cards and 3 splinters, and then iterate through the different leagues. And that's what I get over here in these numbers. So basically, this is the minimum you could possibly spend in order to have a competitive deck at the different levels. I'm not even convinced you could do this in Gold, Diamond, or Champion. But I know in Bronze and Silver, a lot of teams are running like 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of splinters. 3 is kind of a good middle ground because you can complete like 70% of your what is now going to be your daily focus, but was your daily quests. So that's why I went with 3. And so based on those numbers, and based on the earnings that we calculate up here with the different chests, what's the APR, right? And these are the numbers basically. So kind of flat across the board if you're staying in the same league from bronze through diamond. 11%, 10%, 10%, 10%. But then in Champion, it jumps up to 25%. So Champion is far and away the most profitable thing to do with this kind of setup. Now, if you end up paying more for your deck, that will obviously drop. So if we do 4 splinters, let's say that, and we do Champion, Monster Market tells us that the cost is going to be 2618. That can't be right. Because I dropped out Splinter. So okay, 4 splinters. Okay, then it goes up to 5067, and our APR drops to 18%. So it really depends a lot on what what deck you're modeling. Do you already have cards? Do you need to buy more cards? How complete do you want your decks to be? So this is a very ballpark average for these numbers, but it gives us a good starting point. Um, and then if we, instead of staying in the same league, if we do the league graduation at the end of the season, then ROIs change. Bronze is 21%, silver is 16, gold is a low point at 11, diamonds at 17, champion is at 25. So champion doesn't have that graduation element because obviously you can't go above champion 1. But we see kind of a bowing effect where, bronze is still pretty good. In the middle, not so great. Silver's okay. Gold is definitely the minimum of that curve, and then it scrolls back up to diamond and champion. Champion is higher than bronze, but you know, if I'm a bronze bot farmer, am I going to make that investment in order to get that higher APR in champion? Maybe. It depends on how many accounts. It depends on how much cash I have. It depends on all those things. And it depends on how effective I think I could be with a champion level deck. And then the big, the big question is what happens to card prices, right? So once this rewards system goes live in the following season, which will be, I don't know if it's May 31st or June 1st, one of those. The demand for cards should go way up. And, I don't know if you've heard from Agrad or not, but he says there's not enough for everybody, please push and shove. Because when we look at the total population of cards, there's, at the highest levels, which is going to be Diamond and Champion, where the most rewards are, there's not that many maximum level sets of cards available. I own, 3% of Alpha, and that's enough for 4 max level decks. Jarvie, who obviously runs Peak Monsters, has his finger on the pulse of a lot of price action, says most other editions started to have a large divergence between low list price and low BCX price, which would impact bronze the most. So in Peak Monsters, low list is like the lowest asking price, like in actual absolute terms, and low BCX is the lowest price on average card, combined card ratios. So, low list is going to be your 1 BCX card. And that's typically going to be priced higher than a max level card that has 300, 400 cards inside of it, because basically you get a bulk discount. They're harder to trade. They're harder to migrate around. Harder to combine. So So typically they sell for less. And so what Jarvie's saying here is that they're starting to see a bigger and bigger spread between those as people buy up the 1 BCX cards that are useful either in bronze or useful in combining for, to make more higher experience level cards. So, the ROI is going to be very sensitive to price, and the price is shifting dramatically. In fact, let's go to the ecosystem value over here. So, I do my weekly snapshot of everything in the Splinterlands world. We had a mat here. So, alpha packs, totems, all the land pieces, DEC, SBS vouchers, alpha, beta, open cards, markets. And this kind of popped out to me that the Chaos Legion market value, these are for packs that have been opened and cards that now exist. And it went from $15.6 million last week, and it went up by $3.5 million since the past 7 days, and now it's at $19.16 million. So it bumped up 23% in the past week. Now, I don't have it snapshotted day by day, but I'm guessing a lot of that was since this announcement here 3 days ago. And so, overall, we've seen a nice bump of $5.4 million in total ecosystem value from last week to this week. And so leaders in that, Chaos Legion cards, beta packs went up by a chunk. Somebody bought up some of those. Dice went up. Tracks went down, and Jarvie's partially to blame for that because he and Mr. Rogers bought tracks for basically 10 grand a piece, which was down 63%. Mr. Rogers then went on a buying spree for common level totems and bid those up 86%. SPS and vouchers up 14% and 37%. Oh, Jeremy bought the packs also. So, if you want to have good market moves, just follow whatever Jarvy's doing. But SPS and vouchers are up 14 and 37% as well, which is great to see. Now those are very liquid markets. Vouchers less so, but SPS especially, very liquid markets, and it takes a lot of buying pressure in order to move those up significantly. So if we look at the actual chart, we can see that it's down from where we were in basically a month ago, but definitely ticked up from the low that we had last week. Mr. Rogers, yes. So I hadn't followed up on the beta packs, Jeremy, so I didn't know that was you. But yeah, there are no secrets on the blockchain. You can find all these things. So people are responding already to the rewards changes, and it makes sense to do so because, well, even if you're in gold or diamond, having a solid APR of 10%, 17%, 11%, not too shabby for playing a game that you're already playing anyways. So definitely, if you can though, Champion is where the money is. So depending on your strategy, depending on the decks, depending on all those different things, your results are going to be different than what I'm showing here. These are just kind of overall averages, looking at the 20-30,000 foot view to kind of understand the dynamics of what's happening. So your R shares vary depending on league. The chests that you earn vary depending on league. The value of each of those chests varies depending on DEC pack prices and rewards cards prices. How many bronze can you run for one champ account? About 15, but the APRs are level, so it's you're still better off having one champion account than you are 15 bronze accounts, if you can optimize in a smart way. But that's the question that everybody needs to ask themselves. It's like, okay, with this amount of capital, with these cards that I already have, what can I do in order to get to the place where I earn the most? And I'll tell you, if you've never played in Champion, if you've never played in Diamond, it's way more fun than the lower leagues. You have the monsters have more variety of abilities. So there's just a lot more going on in a Champion match than with the same cards in a bronze or silver match. So also note that this is average rankings, probably no bonuses. Yes, this is not calculating any bonuses, and a 50% win rate. Y'all can do better, I hope. And bots will hopefully lose more than 50%. Also, fair points. So yeah, if you're playing with older editions, the alphas, the betas, if you're playing with gold foils, you get bonuses on your R shares. So that that can add up significantly. You could raise your R shares by 20% potentially, and then so if I'm earning 25% with no bonuses, 20% higher, that's going to be 30%, which is not too shabby. Let's see. So Bill is asking, I missed something. What is the use of vouchers now, or are people accumulating for later? Yeah, people are accumulating for nodes. Those are going on sale on the 25th. And yeah, it's nothing to do with the rewards cards, though. Champ is greater than nodes. Maybe. I have not... So with all this stuff going on, I have not gone back to revisit my nodes calculations based on the new prices of SPS and vouchers. So that is something that I will do as we get closer, because the 25th is next Wednesday. Is that right? I'm really bad at calendar math. Yeah, so next Wednesday. And brings all the big names. That's why he gets the big bucks. Yes, such big bucks. Yeah, so Rift Watchers that's also going to be priced somehow or other in vouchers. The 50 viewers, 10x from the 6 viewers at older shows. Yes. People, there's way more people in Swimmerlands now, so there's more people here in the audience with me, so thank you all. for joining me with all this math. You know, if you describe this to a person that says, "Hey, there's this hour-long show all about spreadsheets and math and ROIs and stuff," you would not think people would show up to that. but when you're interested in the topic and the numbers affect you, then hey, it's a lot more viable. So this is the rundown of, you know, ballpark averages of what we have for the new rewards cards. Overall, in absolute terms, you're always better off getting into the highest league that you can with the cards that you have and still be competitive. Because if your win rate goes all the way down, then you're not going to earn any R shares. If you have to spam battles, you're not going to earn any R shares. So you want to be the highest league that you can reasonably play in, is the bottom line, with the cards that you have. So then you just need to look at the numbers and say, okay, you know, my experience has been that I'm going to win such and such, you know, with the cards that I have. Do I want to invest in my deck to improve? Do I want to rent? Do I want to buy cards? You know, whatever the case may be. You know, I didn't even get into rentals because, you know, obviously the rental cost is going to be way less than the purchase cost of cards. So, you know, the numbers here are going to be drastically different than the purchase option. So, you know, you have to look at all these things for yourself. But overall, I think the system is well designed to reward players to build the strongest decks that they can to be competitive. So you know, before, or I guess in the current system that's ending, you know, we see, you know, so many accounts in bronze and silver, and then way less as you go up into gold, diamond, and champion. I think we're going to see a lot of that pressure shift so that we're seeing way more matches in the higher leagues. And I'm looking forward to it personally. I think this is going to be great for rental values, which is where I put, you know, a lot of my time in Splitterlands, because, you know, ghost cards are now persona non grata pretty much, and everybody that was using them before, even if they stay right where they are, they have to either buy or rent, you know, those 1BCX cards. So. So Gip is asking, since I'm big into renting cards, do you think it'll be more attractive to rent next month? Yes, I do. I think that a lot of people will see these numbers and say, wow, I want to earn some of those champion chests. In order to do that, I need to have champion cards, and that's those max levels. And, you know, just the nature of how Splitterlands works, you know, given a certain universe of cards, there's way fewer at the high end. So there's going to be more demand for those, limited supply, prices should go up, and I'm hoping so, because you know, my own rental earnings have been down ever since November. We're down, way down from the peak. Would I recommend owning or renting when at Diamond trying to get to Champion? I currently have level 5 summoners. They cost a lot just to get to level 5. Yeah, I mean, that's any investment decision is going to be personal, but certainly rent before you buy is a very viable option. You know, the rental cost, I mean, you can ask Jarvie, you know, obviously he runs Peak Monsters and has all the numbers on actual rents that are occurring. I think, you know, if you don't have, you know, a whole bunch of money just lying around, you know, like doing nothing, then, you know, it makes a lot of sense to me to rent first, you know, see what you can do with those cards. And, you know, if over time it becomes worth it, then look at buying. You know, the cards on the secondary market are right now significantly cheaper than buying packs directly from Splitterlands. The packs on the secondary market, you know, without the airdrop points, or without the airdrops rather, are trading at about a 30% discount. So, you know, you might look at some of these options, but renting cheap is definitely, I think, more attractive at first. Let's see. Giveaway? No, Ron is not giving me any packs to give away. So I don't have anything to give away. This is just straight content. Let's see. Jarvie says, most rents are by bots and outside of Peak Monsters, sadly. Well, okay, fair enough. Would it be better to just stay in Diamond? Well, you know, no. Unless rents get crazy. You know, it's probably going to be better to step up into the higher leagues because they're just worth more. Neil's giving away knowledge. That's It's my Ty Lopez voice. Uh, hopefully that changes and people use rental bids. Yeah, rental bids is great. For both parties, it gives the people who have the cards, a lot of insight into what people are, where the demand is for the different cards, and it allows people to get rentals cheaper than they otherwise would have. And let's see, there will always be cheap cards in the market, but OP cards will always be expensive. That is very true. So yeah, I mean, I've been accumulating rewards cards myself because the rental values there have been great, and I don't see that changing, especially now that we're getting 12 new ones. My understanding is we're getting them all at once, which is kind of crazy. But now the current rewards cards will still be in print. They're 50 something percent printed. Let's see what Kyoka's site says. Kyoka's rewards cards. We're at 42, 53. We're right in the middle of the print runs for those. But now we're going to get 12 new cards. So for any one reward card that you get, the chances of getting any of these particular cards goes down because they're split up amongst more cards now. So, I think that the rewards cards will continue to do well from a rental perspective at least. Let's see, the rents are too damn high. We'll be hearing that soon. Yeah, I mean, rule one of crypto, right? I want to do less and make more. So, having to pony up more for rents, people are not going to be thrilled about it, but, supply, meet demand. And, whatever the price is what it'll be. Now, the other great thing about this update is that the incentive to do nothing and then sprint at the very end of the season is way reduced because of that ECR change. So the more optimal thing to do now is to play a little bit every day. And I give away packs on July 5th. Prepare myself. Okay, July 5th, we're going to give away packs, according to Rondon. So the price is going to be whatever the price is going to be, wherever the market dictates that it's going to be, and it's going to be more even throughout the season. So I think that will translate into steadier rental prices rather than craziness at the end. There'll still be a rush at the end to go as high as you can, because if it's a matter of staying in your current league or graduating to the next league, there's a huge incentive to graduate to the next league, by a factor of 50-70%. So there will be a little bit of demand there on the tail end, but it won't be anything like we have now, where the final day, in rental terms, from my own portfolio, rents on the last day is 30% of the total for the whole season. So 1 day out of 15 represents 30%, when it should be 6 or 7%. So we need Herb Dean to referee tournaments. That'd be great. We need government rent-controlled tournaments, yeah. So, equilibrium for league versus win rate, that's going to be very dependent on the player. Different people are good at different things. So, when Chaos Legion was initially released, I was playing with Silver League cards, and Chaos Legion only, because I just wanted to get used to them. And it was a horrendous time for me. So I don't do well with Chaos Legion only, and I don't do well in the lower leagues because I like to have all my options. So for me, I actually have a much higher win rate up in Diamond and Champion than I do in the Bronze, Silver, Gold. So other people will have the opposite experience. So it really depends on your particular skill set and depends on your particular cards. So, I hate to say, well, I don't hate to say it. I say it depends all the time in my tax business, but I know it's not as satisfactory for people looking for firm answers. But the numbers are what they are, but they are just population level averages. Your specific experience is going to be individual, and you'll need to run the values based on your own experience. But what we can say is that these chest values, these are pretty good numbers. And that's valuing the potions at 0, which, may or may not be accurate depending on if you plan on opening, more packs of your own for Chaos Legion or Untamed or whatever. But for now, 2 cents, 6 cents, 13 cents, 19 cents, and 42 cents for the different league packs. And where do you want to be on this curve? Where is the optimum value for your particular experience? That's going to be a very individual question. Reset says, well, my own experience depends on how many end miners I play, which directly influences win rate. Exactly. So, it'd be great if the bots pony up and build stronger decks, because those are just easy wins for most people. So hopefully that is what they do, and they'll still earn. They'll still do well, whatever they do. But it just depends on where their optimums are going to be, or optima. I don't know, whatever the plural is. So and it's not like there's one guy running bots. There's several different teams out there that are running several different styles of bots, and they're each going to have their own individual maximization of revenue. Because fundamentally that's the, well, not necessarily revenue, but profit. That's the game that the farmers are in, is they want to maximize profits. Cryptmancer said you could earn $12,000 a year playing in champion level. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. So if under this new system, if I'm earning $40 per season and another, $60, $70 in daily focus chests, and I'm playing tournaments, and I get lucky once or twice, with the rewards cards, maybe pull a gold foil legendary, which requires a lot less luck now, then yeah, you certainly could. You could make $12,000 a year. I think I haven't done the exact numbers on that, but I think it's totally within the realm of possibility. And for the card lords out there like myself, then we're in the supply business, right? So we are making it as widely available as possible, because since I already have the cards, my goal is to maximize revenue, which is not necessarily maximizing the cost of any one thing, but the total value over time, through all the different renters, all the different days, all the different seasons. So the people who have been asking for season-long rentals, I think we're still going to have the same system, but it's going to be much closer to that than we have had before. We're still going to see a little bit of pressure at the very end, but it's not going to be like a 10x from start to finish, like we've been seeing. Cryptmancer saying we should chat offline in my Discord, review champ chest values if you're willing. Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I have built some assumptions into these numbers, and so that may or may not actually be the numbers, but I do think they're good enough to be used. We're certainly in the ballpark of plus or minus whatever percentage, and directionally we're definitely have the right type of relationship. So these are all caveats that you have to understand when you're looking at estimations. And Yaba said that he's going to have formulas and stuff maybe next week, so that'd be great. Instead of doing this kind of stuff here. This was a lot of math, and I actually had to type out some algebra to remember how to do everything. But yeah, how many nodes am I considering? I don't know. I have enough vouchers to buy like 8, so I don't know if I'll do all of that. It really depends on the prices of things, how everything shakes out. But definitely we'll be talking about nodes again next week, and because next week's show will be the day before the pre-sale goes live, and we'll we'll be hitting that one hard. And that is our time for today. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks for Yaba for dropping by, answering some questions for everybody, and we'll see you next time.